NancyLEtcoff, Survival of the Prettiest, The Science of Beauty. As you delve into the summary of Survival of the Prettiest, The Science of Beauty by NancyLEtcoff, be prepared to be amazed at how powerful beauty is in shaping human perception and behavior. Discover the science behind our innate sense of beauty as a biological force and as a social construct. Witness the striking impact of attractiveness on people's lives and society as a whole, and how deeply rooted beauty preferences are in human evolution. This summary takes you on a journey to appreciate the complexity of beauty and unravel the intricate and potent relations between biology, culture, and aesthetics.
The elusive definition of beauty. The Handbook of Social Psychology, a standard reference book, has only one entry on beauty which covers physical factors. Social scientists have shown little interest in the subject, and the Standard Social Science Model, SSSM, is to blame for this disregard. However, modern-day science now recognizes that beauty is a complex topic that cannot be separated from biology and culture. The beauty myth argues that the notion of beauty is a social construct used to uphold a patriarchal society and generate profits for cosmetics companies. Yet, it is important to note that beauty has a historical dimension. The story of the formation of the human mind covers 10,000 years of evolutionary history and cannot be overlooked. Even cosmetics, with women applying makeup to signal nobility, youth, and sexual innocence, indicate the use of culturally and biologically valued attributes in beauty standards. However, the main question remains, what is beauty exactly? The science of beauty. Beauty is an inborn trait that is recognizable to us from a young age. A study conducted by psychologist Judith Langlois shows that even babies ranging from 3 to 6 months of age are drawn to people that adults find attractive. This suggests that we are born with detectors and preferences for beauty. The dictionary defines beauty as excelling in grace of form, charm of coloring, and other qualities, which delight the eye and call forth admiration. However, beauty is not just about physical appearance, it also has a physical effect on the viewer. People may have different opinions on the definition of beauty, but they all agree that beauty is captivating. The power of beauty. Humans, like animals, have evolved to recognize beauty as a sign of survival. The innate response to beautiful babies promotes tender, protective feelings, while the beauty of adults helps find high-quality mates. The more ornate the ornamentation, the stronger the set of genes passed on. Results show that the prettiest girls are more likely to get married to men with more education and income than they have. The science and sociology of beauty. Humans are wired with a universal set of sensual preferences that determine what is considered beautiful. These preferences are linked to health, fitness, and reproductive capability, making symmetrical faces and bodies, glossy hair, and smooth skin attractive. For women, a narrow waist and wide hips represent high estrogen levels and favorable reproductive capability. Science backs up the claim that a waist-to-hip ratio below 0.8 makes women twice as likely to become pregnant. This biological attraction explains the long-standing fashion trend of narrow waists in women's clothing. Beauty also carries sociological impacts, such as the pressure to conform to certain standards, but our ability to recognize it has evolutionary advantages. The power of beauty. Beauty is a potent social phenomenon that affects daily interactions and shapes our expectations of others. Attractive people are often treated more favorably, seen as fundamentally good, and granted privileges. For example, Karen Dion's pioneering attraction research showed that adults treat beautiful children better than unattractive ones and give them the benefit of the doubt even when they misbehave. Likewise, in experiments conducted in 1977, when a dime was left in a phone booth, 87% returned it to a beautiful woman, and only 64% returned it to an unattractive one. This biased treatment creates a cycle of behavior, causing beautiful people to become accustomed to special treatment, which in turn creates a sense of entitlement. Beauty has become a social power, leading to unequal treatment for those who do not meet society's standards, and it impacts how people perceive themselves and others. Beauty, from biological impulses to social responsibilities. Our understanding of beauty is influenced by biological preferences and social constructs that often reinforce prejudices and inequalities. Sociologist Harry Houtink's study on race relations in the West Indies reveals that beauty standards always follow those of the dominant population. In Brazil, where indigenous and African populations face inequality with white Portuguese settlers, magazines continue to feature predominantly fair-skinned models despite only 40% of the population being white. This hierarchy harms not only women but also children, as unattractive children often suffer from neglect and abuse. However, we cannot ignore our biological preference for beauty. Depriving ourselves of it would remove one of life's joys. Instead, we must understand our social responsibilities to beauty and one another to combat prejudices and inequalities that reinforce damaging beauty hierarchies.
In conclusion, Survival of the Prettiest enlightens us on the fascinating interplay between beauty as a universal, biological force and as a cultural viewpoint. The summary uncovers how our sense of beauty evolved as a mechanism for survival, selecting healthy and fertile partners, while also emphasizing the influence of beauty on social behavior and treatment. We are reminded of the biases and prejudices based on appearance, but are also encouraged to acknowledge the fundamental human pleasure that beauty brings to our lives. To truly grasp the power beauty holds, we need to embrace both the biological preferences and the social implications it carries, leading us to a richer appreciation of the world around us.